Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Yesterday, actually, I spoke about, before that, starting the part 2 session. I'm very thankful to those people. There was a very overwhelming response from all of you. And it was my pleasure and a lot of encouragement to me that I could communicate with you through this webinars. So inshallah, I will try to share my knowledge with you. So let's see. Are you seeing the, brother Sadaqatullah, are you seeing the my PowerPoint?
Yes, please run in a presentation mode.
Right, okay. So I can go ahead and open up completely. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know why. Okay, good. Okay. So basically, yesterday I spoke to you about STEM, a little bit history of STEM, and this, like Industrial Revolution, and I spoke about the Stone Ages, and so I'm still talking about STEM in the T part of the STEM, that is technology part of the STEM. And another thing you might have noticed yesterday, that when I was talking about technology, I was also talking about history. And I was also talking about social sciences, how it has impacted the society then, and what were pros and cons of Industrial Revolution, and how how our ancestors in the Stone Age, they were trying to develop technology from whatever material around them. So this was just not science session, but this was also a social science session, a humanities session, and a session for history. So, so this is not just science. So you should remember that. And I think we spoke about energy and power technology yesterday. So I'm going to skip this slide. And now, with the evolving technology, there was also evolving production technology. That means, how to produce more. And, one person can make one TV it may take months to make a TV. On the other hand, if you develop some kind of a factory which can make continuously, for example, in the picture you are seeing, a car factory, and look at those. Instead of human beings, there are robots. And these robots are putting different parts of the cars, and this is called a work line. And this work line is not only in these auto industry, but even in the lab. Like my lab is fully automated, and one sample comes in a tube, and automatically the machines aspirate the sample of blood, and it goes to different location and analyzers, and then it aspirates that small amount of blood, and it gives you complete blood count. It gives you glucose level, it gives you potassium, and all kind of tests are done automatically without a technician, a human being is there. But still we need a technologist. But that one technologist can do a lot of things. We need people to operate these robots in motor industry. but we don't need like 100 people. So there was a revolution in production technology, and even in construction. If you look at that construction, I mean, in olden days, a mason has to come and build the house, and it takes years. You add every year. But now, with the advent of cranes and the machines, digging is very easy, and putting the bricks have become more easier and easier. So a production technology has revolutionized the output of the products. And now transportation technology. Remember when people used to walk long distances, and transportation from one place to the other was very difficult. But again, the industrialization age, the technology has improved a lot. And we could see now supersonic air jets. That means they fly, at a great speed or beyond the speed of sound. And we have this bullet train India is talking about. And I had opportunity to sit in those bullet trains, very smooth ride and amazing, more than 300 miles per hour. You move, and within minutes, you are from one place to the other place. Imagine when you have a horse and you are riding on a horse. That was also a kind of a big achievement rather than walking on your feet. So at one point, I mean, in the Stone Ages, after the Stone Ages, all that. But again, I want to tell you that, not only this transportation is on the wheel, or, you can fly, but also luggage, carrying luggage has become also easier. Now, you could see in the picture, these are the luggage. Now we have four-wheel spinner, suitcases, and these suitcases are much better. They are, resistant to various traumas to these suitcases, and all that is going on along with it. Imagine, I just remembered Sarhadi Gandhi, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, when he came to India, and Indira Gandhi, received him. He was carrying his, clothes in a cloth, basically. So that was the way we used to carry before. And so many things have changed. And so the transportation on land, air, water, and space, you could see now we can put people in a space. And there is space stations and centers where actually, the scientists and astronauts, they are there and working in space. So that's another, positive impact we had. And now with that, I want to start talking about E. In a STEM, there is E. So that E stands for engineering. And engineering, when we talk about, many times we confuse between engineering and technology. Engineering helps to develop technology. Remember that. And as I mentioned yesterday, engineering is invention, and science is discovery. Remember that. So in here, let me remove this. Okay, now I can see. Engineering is involved with understanding of natural world. And it helps us to invent, design, and build. So basically, what we are achieving is a product through engineering, a technology through engineering, like bridges, cars, machines, planes, cell phones, etc., etc. So now, then to simplify this, a difference between a scientist and engineer. Scientist explores that what exists, whereas engineers create that has never been existed, like cell phone, never been existed. There was a phone, but not cell phone. So scientists ask question based on observation. Observation is for both, for scientists as well as engineers. They have to observe. And based on observation, scientists ask a question. Why? Why this happens? How it happens? So a scientist put a question, whereas engineer, after observation, comes up with a problem. And said, oh my God, I have a problem to cross the river because the river is full. I can't cross. What shall I do? So he is a problem seeker. So he looks at and seeks a problem. Oh my God, how shall I resolve this problem? So on the other hand, scientists try to explain, wow, what happened? We put a dam upstream on a river, and now downstream, all the villages and the aquatic system, ecosystem is all messed up. Why? What is happening? So scientists try to explain, this is because we have put a dam somewhere else. So he looks at the consequences and finds an explanation. Well, there is a transfer. My son looks like me. That means, why? So scientists try to find out the genetics behind a morphology of a person or a species. So this is very important. Scientists play an important role in finding the answer or explanation, and another thing I want to tell you, that scientists and engineers work together. When an engineer is working, he's using science also. When scientist is working, he's using engineering methods, technology also. For example, if I'm working in my lab to find out somebody has a cancer, I have a microscope to look into it. That means technology is right there. Who developed that technology? Engineer did, isn't it? So with that, let's go to the next slide. Now, why engineering is important? Again, it is a important scientific concept that is applicable to have new technologies. And as I mentioned, engineering solves the problem. And to tell you honestly, until the day of we live on this earth, we will face many problems, one after the other, without realizing what we end up into. So again, I will tell you one thing, engineering is helping us every day. And we cannot live without engineering. When stone in the Stone Age, when those cavemen developed a stone which looks like an axe, that was the technology. That was the engineering which was evolved at that time. So, and it is related with our economy too. That's why Mr. Obama realized that and said that, my God, our kids are not showing interest towards the STEM. And we have to somehow guide them that it is very important for the nation's economy to evolve into a new technology, new developments in technology, so that economically we could be healthy and flourishing. And one thing I would like to tell you, and somehow it clicked to my mind, that India has so many engineering colleges. I feel so saddened. And sometimes it hurts me that these engineering, if you talk to any of those engineering students, talk to them and say, what is engineering method? None of them are going to give the answer. In fact, Ramesh, he is secretary of Janavijnana Vedika, and I work with Janavijnana Vedika. And he went and asked even the staff member in engineering colleges, what is engineering method? Nobody was able to tell. You tell me how many engineering colleges have come up with any significant invention in India? None. Then what is the use of having those engineering colleges when we can't invent anything? Look at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Every year, more than 600 inventions come from just that university. There are many European colleges, engineering colleges and universities. They come up with many inventions. So somehow we have to develop a curriculum in our engineering colleges. Another thing it just clicked me, that apparently 78% of engineers are unemployable in India. What does it mean? They didn't have the knowledge and the skills to be an engineer. And it's a very sad situation. So, and this is government debt, 78%. I'm not just, making up. It's the government data. You go and check. And so we have to do something. Let's go back. So for healthy economy, we have to somehow train our engineers to be very creative and come up with more and better technology every day. So, but the last thing I would like to say, not in India, engineers are well paid everywhere if they have necessary education, knowledge, and creativity. Otherwise, those engineers will be part of that 78%. Okay, so go to another slide. Now, we will be talking about last letter of STEM, mathematics. I'm not going to go in detail of mathematics. Everybody knows mathematics. And every science, including economics, you talk about social sciences and engineering, medicine, whichever sciences you do, mathematics an important part of that sciences. And guess who were the kind of inventors of mathematics? Muslims. And not only that, Khwarizmi, came with ilmul hinsa, knowledge of letters, not knowledge of numbers, but the future generation of scientists in medieval period, Islamic period, they were the one who connected mathematics with science. Amazing. What does mathematics give to science? Precision, accuracy, reproducibility. That's what happens. When you do an experiment and describe in your scientific manuscript, the methodology or procedure or scientific method, you give exact measurements. You give so much pH. When you add this solution to this solution of this much quantity, you will have this much pH. And whether you do that experiment in United States or India or anywhere in the world, it will give you exactly the same pH. This is what is called reproducibility. If somebody, falsify the data, it cannot be reproducible. There are some people who do this kind of pseudoscience and try to fake the science. They are easily caught, and they will be kicked off from scientific organizations. So we cannot cheat. Why? Because there is mathematics. There is science behind it. So basically, it is just not the quantity, but like in algebra, it deals with the structure. Geometry deals with the space, mathematical analysis, and all those things. So at the end of this M, I want to tell you why STEM. STEM is necessary because in future, right now we are seeing the growth rate of STEM occupations around 17%, while non-STEM occupations are at 9.87%. That means double the number of STEM occupations, and you are better to get into that field. And of course, eventually it comes, employment comes with money, so you can make more money. And even those non-STEM occupations now happily accepting the STEM graduates. So definitely, they have higher income, and there is a sustained growth. It's not that today there is a big demand of STEM, and tomorrow it is not going to be. It is a sustained growth. So there is a stability in the market, job market of this STEM curriculum. And of course, when I made this is for US economy. It could be for Indian economy. It could be of any nation's economy. Okay, so at the end, I would like to say STEM education makes a person a creative thinker, critical thinker, and makes them innovator, right? So, and these are the goals of when Obama started this, and he wanted within a decade, I want to see the change. And you know why he said within a decade? Decade is of 10 years, because a kid takes from first grade to come to 10th grade is 1 decade. And in a decade, you can see the big revolution. If you put some bad stuff in the curriculum, or hatredness or something in the curriculum, you will see within 10 years that when these kids will grow, they will be disaster to the nation. On the other hand, if you put them on a STEM, something which they can create, they can move a positive energy towards good deeds and good stuff, which will help the mankind. Science doesn't differentiate between religions, between castes, between color. It will help everybody. On the other hand, we have to be very careful. Nobody should use science for destructive purpose. All right. So in Obama's plan, he wanted to spend, I think we spent billions of dollars on this STEM education. And it was not just for school, because soon after the school, K to 12, these kids are going to undergraduate school. and they are going to graduate schools, or university, colleges from university. And this, promotion of STEM should continue from school, from the primary kindergarten level to the university level. So that was, and inshallah, for every country, if we focus on this, it will work. So the purpose of STEM, the mission was help students to prepare for the 21st century and beyond. It's not just 21st century. Our generations in the future, 22nd century, thereon, till this world lives, then what should be our goal? The goal should be research, design, build, test, and improve. It's just not the science. Any subject, objectives, enable them with power of problem solving, teamwork, critical thinking. Now, I want to tell you, as we are growing in technology, there is more and more stress is given to teamwork. We have to work in groups. A team in India will work on a project, a big project, a sub-chapter of that big project, and the other group will be working in Germany. At the end, all these coordinate and work together and come up with an amazingly beautiful device which people can use. So there are a lot of, we need at present a teamwork. So we have to somehow in a school stress on, working in small groups, so that, like they share, they share the knowledge and become creative or critical. So this is very important. Okay. So another objective, we have to somehow work on STEM-based curriculum in real life situation. How these kids are going to work in real life. If they come across a problem in engineering, or they are finding something interesting and want to explore. So how they have to somehow learn these, we as a teacher should teach them, right? So with that, one of the, STEM is an umbrella organization, or it was a thought. Now look at this. A single thought by a single person can bring so much change in the group. Same thing with all these students. You could be one teacher and you can bring a change, a revolution in education. Every person is important. Look at our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When I was, when I came first to India after few years in America, I was trained in medicine, and I was doing all that work. And then I came. And at that time, I just want to let you know this may have something to do with education, what I'm doing right there. Karnataka State Education Minister then was S.M. Yahya Saab. So I was watching from the balcony of my in-laws' house. There was a kind of a function going on. Actually, it was on the road with all these shamianas and tents. And this was from Baitul Mal. He was distributing books and uniforms to the students, and he was a little bit late. So people saw me and asked me to come and give address to the students. So I went there and talked and gave the importance of education and with Quran and Hadith, and I was quoting them and explaining to them with Sarf Nahu. And meanwhile, Samia Yasab came and sat down on the stage. And when I was done with, and I listened to him, it was really, when he said, it hurt me a lot. When he said that Muslim students quit schools at the age of 10. That means 4th grade. It was really shocking to me. And I felt bad. And that is the age around, I have 4th grade, I believe, because now the kids are grown up, so they can be used as manual laborers or something, and they pull out, parents pull out from the school. And still we are facing that problem. And our people do not realize the importance of education. And, this is the sunnah of our prophet. "Utlibul ilma min walau kana bis-sin." If you have to go to China to get the knowledge, you go get it. So I'm kind of distracting you to another aspect of how I got it. And since that day, then he said, "Dr. Azher, do something. You are a scientist. You are a medical doctor. You know education. You know Arabic. So why don't you help our people here?" The next day, I was in Baswangudi Jamia Masjid giving Juma khutbah. And then I started going from schools to schools, and you know my mission now. So thank you very much for all your support. And so let's go back. NGSS, you are seeing slide with NGSS. What does it stand for? Next Generation Science Standard. Obama has started. I was thinking, a mission to bring the STEM to public. And because of his spending money on education, a lot of work has been done. One of the masterpiece work which was done was Next Generation Science Standard. When all the scientific people, teachers associations, that's another thing I'm going to talk. Teachers associations are very much involved in the United States with the education departments, and to bring new changes in curriculum and all that. So scientists, educationists, Nobel Prize winners all sat down together and came up with a new standards in science. That is called Next Generation Science Standard. You can Google. Nowadays, we know how to Google very well. Cut, paste, and forward. So go ahead and just study this. Don't forward or text, cut and paste. But focus on this, how this Next Generation Science Standard is helping our children now. The aim behind this, project of developing NGSS, all scientists know that children are born investigators. They are born scientists. Recognizing and understanding that character in them is essential for teachers. And so that we can build upon that and give more knowledge. They are thirsty of knowledge. They are sponges. They will absorb everything. Whatever you teach to them, even bad things, don't teach them bad. Give them some science. Let them grow with science of language, grow up with the science of physics, mathematics, economics, whatever it is, okay? So in this NGSS, we are focusing only towards engineering and science. Remember, in the past, when we talked about science, we only talked about zoology, botany, chemistry, physics, that's all. Everybody left out engineering, which plays an important role. It's a part of science. Science is part of engineering. Engineering is part of science. So now they realize that, and they included in Next Generation Science Standard. If you look at that NGSS, there'll be, it starts from kindergarten. Standard, you should know that what is the difference between the standard and curriculum. The standards give you the guidance, what to teach, when to teach, and how to teach. It gives. Whereas curriculum, you have to adjust according when to teach. You cannot teach a 2-year-old kid multiplication or division. You won't understand. So this NGSS has set some standards. And I will talk to you, maybe I should, maybe I'm putting myself in more trouble here. Maybe I should in future talk about next generation sciences, but I will give some a few glimpses here and there. And one of the important things next generation sciences standard wanted to bring out is that students' experience is important, not just teaching them with the blackboard and talking to them. So rote learning is given is not given importance. Okay, so that's and it consists of 3-dimension next generation sciences. And if you look at the picture on the side, practices, core ideas, and cross-cutting. I'm going to talk that later, but practices, you should start with the practices. What are practices? How engineers practice, how scientists practice. That is practices. Basically, you are talking about science fair. The initial stage is practices or project-based learning. In project-based learning, kids do the project and learn. That's the way they love it. A child's project, an infant's project is take the rattle in his hand. We call that junjuna or whatever in Tamil. So his project is take in his hand and move it. And it makes noise, throw it, put it in his mouth, use all the senses. That is the practice. And we have to start. But we don't do that. I'm sorry to say, either it is government school or public school, they are stuck in centuries behind Socrates' method of teaching. I'm very sorry and I suffered, you as teachers suffered, let not our next generation suffer. Of course, promote equity. That means that a poor student who cannot attend an expensive school, a private school, should also get equal opportunity to have the same method of teaching, same quality of teaching, than a school which doesn't have all those facilities. Okay, so let's go to them. So I think in this, I will try to explain a little bit. Well, let me see what is the next slide. Okay, okay. There are 2 more slides. So, I think I will skip, and when I will talk more about NGSS, I will let you know. But you could see the goal of our, NGSS. Not only they should remember, but they should understand. We are stuck in memorizing here at the bottom. No. So they should understand and they should apply the knowledge to be creative and by analyzing and evaluating whatever they have learned. Okay. Now, I'd like to go to stream. Before stream is STEAM. You can see this is the new issue I received. I get a lot of journals in science and education and medical sciences too. And this I subscribe to one of the NSTA, National Science Teacher Association journal. On the right side, you could see And the whole issue was dedicated to turning STEM to STEAM. See, we are human beings. We take, like a child, take step by step before walking and running. So we are in a mode of evolution all the time. So then we realize after STEM that why we are neglecting arts. When I say arts, if you look at the right side of the brain, actually the picture is of a brain. On the left side is the sciences, on the right side is the, the left side is the blue one is STEM, and the right side is all about arts. What is arts? It's just not subject art. Art means, painting, drawing. Art means music, games, poetry, having a hobby of taking pictures, writing, essays, a lot of more things in there. So that should be part of science. Without art, we cannot do science, and without, in the science is embedded arts. So let's look at what STEAM means. And that A is added later on, and it means arts. STEM was on hands-on projects, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication skills, isn't it? Now, what about arts? Yes, art also need all those things. It's hands-on. When you are painting, it's hands-on. When you are writing or drawing a picture, it's hands-on. There's so many similarities between those two. You write an essay with a critical thinking, or you become very creative in your essay, or you write a poem and you become very creative. And, you come up with different thoughts. And it is not debating. Debate is another one. We used to have debates. That was excellent. I participated. And in pros and cons of something, and why we need science. And another person will say, why we don't need science. That's okay. So we have to somehow develop both arts and science. They merge together. There is no subject now we are teaching which does not overlap. Don't tell that I'm Urdu teacher or Tamil teacher, please don't talk about science to me. It has happened. There is a group which I'm involved, which is an Urdu group. Science teachers are not allowed there. I don't know why. Well, I'm allowed, maybe because I'm a poet, I'm a writer, but I'm a scientist too. So that's very important, okay? So they introduced, and the most important thing is you can see communication skills. When you are a good orator, you didn't learn soon after your birth how to talk. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes rehearsal. So all these things are very important. And projects are interdisciplinary. Always remember that. You get involved from engineering to science, science to engineering, and your writing skills, your drawing skills. I'm going to talk about that. So Incorporation of Arts was very important. Look at this. We need to expand our thinking regarding the arts versus science. Neither should exclude the other. Look at, there was a study done. Maybe I will talk to you in future. A good student who's scoring high in all the subjects happened to be the one who plays violin. What is the connection? Look at this. So there must be connection through the brain. So these kids must be have neuronal connections which are improving their skills in academics. Same thing is with the games and sports. So maybe inshallah next time I will deal those subjects and talk to you. So he's a Kachin is a educationist, says that the importance of incorporating arts may be particularly impactful for underrepresenting students in STEM. So you cannot isolate STEM from arts, because there are students who love the arts and they won't come to STEM, and there are students, STEM students who are interested in arts, they won't come to arts. And another thing I want to tell you, in America, like my son, for example, he is now director of physician services, and he works for the hospitals. And but if you look at his majors, he did major history and minor chemistry. I asked him, why did you select minor chemistry when you were doing major history? Is it because these are rhyming words? He said, no, I love history. And you know what? Now when he talked to the physicians and health workers, he quotes the history about how the medicine evolved. There is a link. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Don't isolate yourself. I'm telling a language teacher to get involved with science, and a science teacher to get involved with language. So let's go to the next one.
Okay, Dr. Shah, we are at 8 o'clock now.
Okay.
Can we pause here and get the questions? Then we'll continue next. Is it okay, or you want to?
I think I just no. I got I mean, there are so much to tell. Okay,
yeah, we can continue tomorrow's session too.
Yes, I will do that, because for 2 weeks, alhamdulillah, I don't have anything, and I'm just focusing on these. And I will take other seminars also. And I'm thinking of talking about NGSS. So
yeah,
can I?
Because NGSS is when you go show that slide, that really gives us what it is. Actually, there are some questions on that area.
Okay.
Can you go back to that NGSS?
Okay, let me. All right. Okay. This slide?
No, NGSS. No, the one before.
Oh, this one?
After this.
Oh, this one?
Yes, the high order
this
thing.
one?
Actually, yes, Dr. Shah. Actually, you used to say that the Bloom's taxonomy is not that good, but if I look into this chart, it's again listing out whatever the Bloom's taxonomy listed out, the same pyramid, right? Maybe it puts the creative, evaluating, analyzing in the same layer.
To tell you honestly, whether it is Bloom taxonomy or anything, these were the psychologists who developed, Bloom taxonomy, and there is another one which a lot of people in India do that.
Solo taxonomy?
Yeah, not only taxonomy, there is something else, I just, it is not clicking to me. But anyhow, so they do have, like, those are the one, for example, kinetic learning and all that kind of thing. What is, those, what they did is they took it in isolation, okay? That is not neuroscience based. So, but there are quite a few stuff which are useful, okay? So you may not be learning neuroscience of learning, but still you are learning something which is better than what we are doing right now. This is what I, Atiya and myself, agree upon. So she texted in the group, I mean, what I'm talking is way ahead, but it doesn't mean that what Sister Atiya is talking is not good. It is good. She's talking about creating, analyzing, and all that kind of thing. You know, I mean, so I'm just giving you a little ahead, more scientific, at present, even what I'm talking right now, not all the schools are adopting in the United States. I'm doing this for last 10 years when nobody knew about NGSS, when we were working on NGSS, but I was teaching that in India. I wish India could have, the education departments could have got me, and I would have helped them a lot. But anyhow, so still it is not bad. And I think what she has talked, I'm not against her. Okay? Are you there? Hello?
Yes, Dr. Shop. Yep, yep.
Yes. Any other question?
Okay. On this, Alhamdulillah, you also started showing a slide with the first grade 1, some examples, then you said you'll continue on another session, right?
From grade 1, there was a
There
slide.
is one slide you were... Yeah, no, one slide back. No,
This one?
just no, not the one. Just now you have shown. No, forward, then.
Oh, forward, okay. Anything?
No, I think we missed.
Okay, I'm going to talk more about NGSS. At that time, I will say, actually, there is at the I will show you. Hang on, I will show you. Can you see my the slides on the side? Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, and there are some slides. I'm going to talk about research experience, for the RET, what we call this, for the research experience for teachers. And in that, after that, I will be talking about, this is the one I will be talking about. This is a project-based learning I'm going to, and this is a part of the STEAM, okay? In that, I will talk about how to teach a project-based learning, how to make up a lesson of project-based learning. And in that, at the end, I will also give how it correlates with next generation science standard, okay? Got it?
Yeah, got it, Dr. Shop. So maybe we
Tomorrow.
take a we'll take a pause today, and we'll continue inshallah tomorrow the same time.
Any other questions?
So no. Can overthinking cause any health problems to the students? One person asked. STEM needs, he says that is it STEM need overthinking, and will it cause any problem to health problem to the students?
Overthinking means what?
They are thinking, maybe I think his question is like STEM needs the student to think too much, or
No.
So,
okay, one thing you should remember, I myself, though, I have taught students. I can handle any students. When I teach a kindergarten student or a first grader student, I go to the level of their brain. And when I teach to a college student, I go to the level of their student. But one thing I realized is that when it comes to thinking, when they take the interest, when the students take the interest, my God, there is no limit to thinking. Sky is no limit for them. They can think, and you will be amazed with the answers they give you. Because a younger the student's thinking is not limited. Well, it is difficult to convince a director of education that, because he is limited with his knowledge in the sense that his knowledge is the best knowledge. He is not open to other knowledge, whereas a little kid is open to other knowledge. So there is vast thinking capability. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Alhamdulillah, here it is 8:10 and let us close for the day. Inshallah, we'll meet again tomorrow and
Inshallah.
we'll continue. So
And
people has
please,
posted another question for you for in future sessions. One request people made is, Dr. Shop kindly give some more ideas on implementation of STEM scheme in our classes.
okay.
So that's the request people
Okay.
have.
Okay. Okay. That's a
future
totally,
sessions.
brother, Sadaqatullah, and the teacher who is asking this question. And there is a total different session I want to take on, implementation. See, implementation of lesson plans or the curriculum. So I want to take a different session for that and how to do that. Okay.
Yeah, sure, Dr. Shah. That will be greater and kind of you, and it will be great for us. Okay.
And actually, thank you very much. I received so many comments yesterday personally and on that group chat, and I really appreciate. I'm trying my best to give as much time to you because I'm at home, and this will be for the sake of Allah and fi sabilillah. I'm doing this and spread this information as much as possible. And thank you very much. Again, I had good time.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Shah. Thank you all the participation, and Dr. Shah, may Allah reward you and your family in both the worlds for all your time and your help to us. And may Allah
Amen.
give a more bounty of knowledge to you, which will help the community and all the teachers. And Jazakallah khair for all your time. Okay, thank you, participants. We are closing this session, and inshallah, we'll meet tomorrow. We'll start session at 7:15 and 7 o'clock evening. I'll open the room. Please join as much as and stay till the last very moment. Thank you. Thank you very much.